Hello everybody. I'm really sorry about that. It's been a while since I used this software. But it's okay. We are now live. We're holding this live stream today because we've had some issues with just workload and getting everything done. And so today we figured that it would be a good chance to answer some of the questions that you're all sending our way when it comes to Transport Evolved, when it comes to electric vehicles, when it comes to what happened with my Bolt, what happened with the pickup truck, why was I driving a pickup truck, what is happening with your cars, oh my god, why aren't you buying a Tesla Model 3, oh my god, why aren't you buying a Tesla Model 3,
oh my god, why aren't I living in my car?
Yes. So, we're trying something new. I love your show. The second question, what happened with your Bolt? I'm dying to know. Okay, so a couple of things quickly before we get onto that. Yes, we're working on that Nissan Leaf $33,000 battery replacement story. That is going to come tomorrow. I was hoping to take a day off tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. So I'll be working tomorrow and I'll be covering that for you guys tomorrow. And then you'll know exactly what's going. Thoughts on Tesla delivery numbers? Honestly, that's really cruel, Erin. How could you? 97,000. It's close.
Yeah, it's close. But then the other thing is, So there are, of course, a lot of people out there that I imagine want Teslas. But then the thing is, how do you market to people that don't have Teslas?
Yeah. By the way, cheers, Bill. Thank you.
Thank
Bill
you.
dropped by earlier on and left us some coffee drinks. I don't normally drink huge amounts of coffee and sugared drinks, but...
Wow, you drank a lot of that really quick. Yeah. Wired.
Today we're going to be... we're going to be doing a little bit more of a hangout because I know a lot of people really love you, Erin. You have fans now.
Yay.
And a lot of people wanted us to do more hangouts and more stuff. This is kind of an informal hangout. If you want us to do more hangouts, we will do more hangouts.
Maybe
but
do like a scheduled one or something
maybe
like
we'll
that?
try and do one once a week, maybe on a Wednesday or something, a scheduled thing. Wednesdays are probably bad because it will probably clash with some of the other things that are going on.
I'm also off most of the time on Wednesdays.
Are you talking about your Bolt 33,000 battery or the Nissan Leaf from Australia? Okay, so the Nissan Leaf from Australia story, I don't want to break tomorrow's story today because I've just spent 2 hours writing the script for it. Spoilers. But the good news is that the Nissan Leaf owner in Australia is being talked to. God, that sounded terrible. Nissan have reached out to him. Let's leave it at that.
Nissan is having a conversation with him, if you know what I mean.
Nothing like that.
I'm sorry.
My goodness. What do you like?
Not what? What do you
What
mean?
do you like? Although you do have a new t-shirt on today, which is very fancy. So they are discussing the situation with the owner. TLDR is I think he probably won't have to pay $33,000 for the battery. If Erin had bought 3,000 Model 3s, Tesla would have made their goal. Thanks, Erin.
I'm sorry. I know.
So what would your yearly salary need to be?
They're how much each?
Let's say 40 grand.
Let's take a look. 40 grand times 3,000.
I'm not paying you 120 million. But in order for me to pay you 120 million, in order for you to get 120 million,
think you need to...
I would have to pay you.
Yeah.
I would have to pay you 250 million a year.
Wow, I wish I made that much.
Which, in order to do that, would mean that we would need to bring in, what, $1 trillion? No, sorry, $1 billion a year.
Come on, guys, why aren't we a billion-dollar company?
We need to be $1 billion company.
We need to be Bill Gates. obviously.
So there you go. You want Erin to buy 3,000 Model 3s? There you go.
There we go. I have to be.
All right. So the Nissan Leaf TLDR is that a garage dealership in Australia tried to get an owner to pay $33,000 to replace the battery pack. It broke down. I think it was $750 for the work. 29,600 Australian dollars for the actual battery, and the rest was GST, which is taxes on top. I will be covering it tomorrow on this channel, so keep your eyes peeled. On this channel, we will be doing it.
Subscribe.
I just realised my hair looks a bit
like.
My hair looks a total mess, but that's fine. Yeah. I know, we normally do keep these chats on the second channel, but this is the problem. Lots of people watch the videos and they don't ask us, they don't answer the... Lots of people watch the videos and then they ask questions that never get seen if they do the Hangouts on the secondary channel. We are going to do more Hangouts on the secondary channel.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Nicholas. Good name. I like Nicholas. It's a good name. Yeah. So we leave it at that. So Bolt, what happened to the Bolt? Okay, so the Bolt had an ABS failure sensor. The ABS sensors failed. Both of them apparently at the same time, or as one of you guys said to me on a private message this week, maybe both of them didn't fail at the same time. Maybe one failed and it was still operating, and then the second one failed, and then it all went wrong. Supposed to be a fault to ground. Now, I will admit that I am skeptical that that's the problem, and I think there might be a loose ground somewhere, which is something that some of you guys mentioned in the comments to the video in question. I feel that we did have some issues with that, and I think that hopefully as part of the remedial work that they have put into the Bolt to fix it under warranty, that will be addressed. The car was with the dealership for less than 48 hours from it arriving to it being fixed. They called me on the Wednesday, so it was dropped off on the Monday. It was towed on Sunday evening. They got it Monday morning. They gave me a courtesy car Monday morning. It was fixed by Wednesday morning, and I would have gone and picked it up, but I was at the airport, just getting on a plane to go to Detroit for the Bollinger event. And so I had that pickup truck for effectively a week. On Monday, they called me up and said, hey, can you come drop the pickup back, and we will take we'll arrange you to have a courtesy car. And the reason being that when the car had a little mishap in a car wash, it damaged the front end of the car, just damaged the bumper, just a few cracks. It's like $800 worth of damage. I'm getting that fixed on my insurance because I don't like driving a car that's got any kind of accident damage, because I don't think it looks good. I don't think it doesn't make me feel very good.
So basically it's been in the body shop.
It's been in the body shop since, and we should get it back on Friday. So hopefully everything will be fixed.
Have you
by
told people what you have right now?
I have a Scooby. A Scooby.
Why do you call them Scoobies?
A Scooby. Scooby. I don't know where the word Scooby came from, but it's a fairly common thing in the UK. You call them Scoobies.
Oh.
I'm sure my Australian viewers call them Scoobies as well. So I have a Scooby Outlander, and it's a lovely little car. It is petrol, unfortunately, but you know what? There's a video coming, and I want to know if you guys want me to actually make it. I think we need more electric cars like this Scooby Forester, because honestly, it's a car in which all of the technology is hidden. You don't know when you're sitting behind the driver's seat, or in the driver's seat. You can't sit behind the driver's seat. When you're sitting behind the steering wheel in the driver's seat, you don't notice that this is a car with all of the normal high-tech stuff that you'd find in a modern car. It just
that was one
seamless.
thing. Yeah, that was one of the things that you were remarking on, was just how manual everything is, which isn't bad. I mean, just less.
It's not even manual. It just feels functional.
You said
functional.
manual.
Yeah. All right. It feels functional.
Yeah.
There we go. So it feels functional, and I think it's a lovely car, and I'd love to see them make an electric version of that. The problem is, of course, it's got terrible gas mileage, 30 miles to the gallon, which most people say is good.
30 miles to the gallon.
I mean, that's not good compared to what.
An abysmal 30 miles to the gallon.
So what we're going to do in that space is turn it over to you to answer some of the questions about what happened with your car.
Nothing's happened to it.
Because people were saying, "Oh, has your car broken? Are you trying to change it?" Let's be clear. Erin is not like selling her car tomorrow and buying a plug-in car.
This is going to be next year. I mean, I was looking at actually my finances and what I'll need to save up in order to get, maybe a little bit of a smaller loan or something like that, so I don't, end up like, my money's going out of my wallet.
You see, Erin has seen your generation as a millennial. You have seen your parents' generation and your grandparents' generation deal with money in a very different way.
Yeah.
And I think Erin is actually refreshingly representative of quite a lot of millennials I've met who do not want to get into a huge amount of debt, who do want to be responsible as they're growing up, because they are seeing their parents' generation, the late boomers and the early Gen Xers going, oh crap, my house is not going to be paid off until I'm 70. Yeah. I've got all of this consumer debt.
Yeah.
And you don't want any of that.
Like, my family, because of the generation they were in, like, they have the most debt. They're the generation with the most debt, which is kind of insane to me. And seeing just all of that makes me hate owing people money even more.
I mean, I've always hated owing people money, and I've been fortuitous in the fact that I have. Yes, I currently have a credit card, and I have credit card consumer debt.
Yeah, but
I'm in a position where I'm paying it off.
Yeah, but that's also how you build up credit. So I mean, unfortunately that's how our system works. We live in a society.
Cool kids are financially responsible nowadays. Be one of the cool kids.
I'm a cool kid. I'm fine. I'm fiscally responsible.
And just to clarify, people saying, why aren't you driving an electric? As one person got very upset, and I actually had a bit of a conversation with them in the comments section, saying essentially that well, you're buying a nice car. It's got an engine, so you won't be doing. You'll still be buying gas. What's the point, kind of thing? And I think,
well, it's to be buying gas less. I don't want to buy gas as much. It's not about, like I said in my video, it's not about making huge leaps. It's about taking little steps. And I think that's going to be...
within your means as well.
Yes, within my means, and then it's within the means of a whole lot of people. It is, it's a lot more acceptable for people to take small steps. And I think that's something that some people don't quite understand, is that, like myself, like I said, before this, I didn't like cars. Before this, I didn't care. I'll be honest with you guys. And so I have started to care, and now I am thinking a little bit more about that. But then that also, brings into the question, what is it like for the general consumer? What is it like for people that aren't super invested in what kind of car they're gonna get?
Right.
So we really have to think about, how do we make this more accessible, more appealing to the general populace?
And it also has to be about accepting where somebody is and participating in their journey rather than berating them about
how dare you,
how far they have to go or how far they haven't gone.
Yeah, and
so any progress is better than none. Is what I'm saying.
And to the whole, oh, you're doing this wrong. To that I say, whatever, I'm not measuring myself to your standards, so.
And Erin is very difficult to offend and or wind up. I'm much easier than that. And I think the challenge here with this kind of setup. Somebody said, "Oh, why don't you move closer to the office?" Which, in an ideal world, you could. But Erin lives in a different state.
That is another thing that, if you do not know the U.S. or if you're on a different coast, you might not know. But Portland is, on the border of Washington. It's really close to the border of Washington and Oregon. So I live on the other side of the river. Unfortunately, it is.
That's Washington. That's Vancouver, Washington, not Vancouver, Canada.
Yes. Why do you stop saying where I live?
Well, people who know where it is.
Yeah,
know the city. But it's a big urban area. It's the greater urban area.
People like calling it a suburb of Portland because that's what it is.
Yeah, okay.
But you know, why I don't just move over to Oregon is because pretty much anyone that I could live with is over on Washington side.
Yeah, and it's a millennial thing. I think a lot of millennials just simply can't afford to live.
Portland is expensive.
In Portland, it's expensive.
Portland is horribly expensive. It's a huge metro area, you know, and I wouldn't liken it to New York City levels of expensive,
but thanks Portlandia.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, these prices are only going to increase because of, you know, the kind of glorification. Ooh, look at Portland. It's so fantastic. And, you know, the glorification of the West Coast, which is fine. I mean, the West Coast is great, but...
And let's not forget, there are some benefits to living in the state of Washington that you don't get in Oregon.
Oh
so for those who don't know, it is actually... Oregon has no sales tax.
No, there's no sales tax. But the thing is, your income is taxed a lot. So actually, funny enough, I am not making a ton of money by working here because a lot of my income is taken out by taxes for social programs and things like that, which is fine. But I don't really get to see any of those benefits at all, and I don't really get any of it back.
If you want Erin to earn more money, then help us bring more money in as a company.
Yeah.
And for those who say, oh, well, you're obviously paying her not very much, for the record,
you're paying me above minimum wage.
We don't discuss how much people get paid at this company.
No.
Suffice to say, she is the highest earning person in the company. I am not. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. It already makes me feel bad enough.
You're good. You're good. So the other questions a couple of people had was, oh, well, why don't you just move to... I think maybe they were just being facetious, but, well, why don't you go and live with Nikki? No.
No, thanks.
Erin is a friend of mine. We've had enough of each other working 8 hours a day together.
I was gonna say, it's already, you know, good that we can be friends outside of work and still work together. In fact,
we're doing something tonight after work. A friend of ours is coming into the state, and so we're going to go out for a meal with them. But I mean, I'm an introvert. Erin is an introvert, and we need more space.
I need my alone time.
And so does my wife. I mean, my wife would not be... My wife likes you, but I don't think she'd like living with you.
Hey, Kate, what's for dinner? What you got cooking? Oh, it's more vegetarian food? Okay. Which is fine. I'm not saying anything bad about vegetarians. I have a roommate that's vegetarian. We have to cook vegetarian all the time.
So let's move on. A couple of people saying, well, why don't you buy an EV? I think Erin has already outlined that in the video.
Yeah.
And she is looking at a plug-in hybrid with a decent range.
Yeah. I want to drive electric most of the time for my commute, but I don't want to have like 2 vehicles because I don't have a whole lot of space where I live.
And you don't have to charge. You can't really easily charge at home.
No.
And aforementioned student debt. And I think one of the things that video highlighted to me more than anything else is it is very, very, very easy for people to not realize how other people live.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
I have no idea how you live. You have no idea how I live. I mean, we have each other's, we
get glimpses, little glimpses.
But we don't really understand how other people live, and I think that is okay.
Yeah.
But I think when we make comments in a public forum like that, it is important to understand why other people do what they do. Just be sympathetic. Don't be the Will Wheaton rule. Don't break the Will Wheaton rule.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Unless you're talking, in a talking head capacity, as we do sometimes. In which case, we do have to be nasty sometimes. All right. So people, I hope that answers the bolt question and the leaf question.
I will have to say though, if I could, I think it'd be really cool. This is on a total kind of just going along with that note, if I could have something like an Archimoto or a Solo, that would be very nice for just a commute or something like that.
As long as it had a decent price.
Yeah, exactly.
And neither of those vehicles have a price that you'd feel comfortable with right now.
I mean, the thing is, for what the Archimoto is going at right now, I could get a Volt. Like, I could get a premium used Volt.
Yeah.
So.
And people keep asking about how about used Clarity PHEV, how about use this, how about this. Do you mind if I give them a ballpark figure to kind of illustrate?
Yeah, by all means.
Erin is looking at between 10 and 15.
Yeah. I don't make a ton of money. I will, again, I'm going to iterate that.
More of this format, fantastic. We love it, really. Just make sure you keep supporting us, keep hitting like and comment and send us Ko-fi and help us make this. I am not going to lie, we want to do more content with this channel, but we've been really financially strained in the last couple of weeks through no fault of our own just because cable companies have been sending us bills. We had a bill from Comcast from our previous business address. I rang them up and cancelled the contract, and they sent us 2 bills, and because it was still an auto pay, it paid them. And then Frontier, who were supposed to install 3 phone lines and an internet connection in this studio, ended up installing 1 phone line and an internet connection, using a special, bonus sign-up, special friendly deal. And then they ended up charging us an upgrade fee, which was full free, and then full fees on top of that. And we ended up with a bill for $850
Good
for
surprise
the first
bills. Love
2.
it.
And so, we have been a bit tight on what we've been able to do.
Surprise! You owe us $800, which you didn't know you did. Yay! They're apparently sorting it out, but I would give him a ring again.
Yeah. And a lot of people
them.
say, "Oh, why do you talk about stuff like this on this channel? We don't want to hear about your stuff." Well, no. Okay, we're being completely transparent with everybody about how we run the company. If you came to Fully Charged Live to the Patreon meetup earlier this year, there will be one in February in Texas. We sit down with our patrons and we tell them exactly where all the money's going and how much we're spending. Not because we think necessarily you want to know or like we think we have anything to hide, but because we don't have anything to hide. We want you guys to know how much it costs to run
We're
the
all
company
about transparency
and making stuff. And we, anyway, let's move on. People obviously still asking and suggesting cars, which are great. It's great to have all these options. Charging infrastructure is the biggest challenge for you. And while Erin lives north of Portland, in Portland's northern neighbor. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already said it on here, so, whatever. But,
well, the reason I'm okay doing that is because it's like 20 miles from one side of town to the other.
Yeah, that's a good
It's not like people are going to track you down and...
I mean...
I don't know.
They've tracked you down.
We have had a couple of people track me down.
But point is, one thing I was going to say is, something that might be kind of funny for you guys to hear is my family is a huge fan of Japanese cars. We have literally all except for
as was mine, actually.
Yeah, all except one project car. All of the cars in my family, immediate, are Japanese. And so I was like, hey, I want to get a Chevy. And they were like, oh no, an American car. Excuse me.
Yep.
And then I kept on getting attempted to get sold on like Toyotas or Hondas. Like, oh, you should just get a Prius. Just get a Prius. And I'm like, they don't. The primes kind of do what I want. But the thing is, it's their price ticket.
Yeah, and I think we also have an issue with the Prime would be a good candidate for you, but it's too expensive. And the previous generation Toyota Prius plug-in hybrid has a realistic range of less than 10 miles.
It's just sad.
Which is sad.
It's a baby. It's a little baby.
So, those are the options that are available right now. That's why we are at where we are at and what we are doing. Let us very quickly touch on the Bollinger and the reason why we didn't put that video up. The video was pretty poor quality. That was down. I will take the blame for that.
Well, it was a one-person production team.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to set up a camera in a very busy place. I learned a lot from that, mea culpa, and I did not take these with me, which is my fault, and that's why the video did not happen. Yeah. So.
But the benefit we had at Archimoto was that we managed to get, people in a kind of quiet area, and you had to be on the show floor.
Right, and there were two people.
Yeah,
set up.
The audio was like when I heard it. It was insane.
So
also,
there we are.
Really quick.
Thank you, Robert. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. And Nathan, thank you for the very kind comment there to Erin and everybody else. We are. Buy what works for your life and your budget. No one else is going to pay the bill, so they shouldn't influence your decision.
That's right.
Exactly it.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, we are. Said friend is just about arriving, so we are going to be going and kicking back for the rest of the day for a bit. We've got some take 2 stuff to come up with. We've put a new shelving unit in the studio.
Yeah, we're doing.
We've been given the go ahead for the walls, so the walls are going to be going up. We're getting a charging station. Thank you to our friends for sending us that. Thank you for the $20 there. That is a fantastic donation. I really like that when people send money our way.
We appreciate it.
We really do appreciate it and love you guys. So that is it. There will be no normal videos later on in the week. But until then, thanks for joining us.
Keep evolving.